Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to quickly go through the idea of cells. Now cells, we're not going to do them in huge detail here, but you do need to have a basic idea of what a cell is and a few of its parts. So we're going to look at two types of cells briefly, animal cells and plant cells. And in the next video we're going to have a look at a whole lot more detail at a particular type of cell, a particular type of animal cell in fact. But here, let's go through the basic parts to start off with. Alright, so cells. All life is made up of cells. Every living organism is made up of at least one cell, and the cell is considered the basic unit of life. What does that mean? Well, basically it means every living thing is made up of cells. Some of them are made out of one cell. Things like us, we're made out of lots of cells. We're probably about, the average human's probably about roughly 1 trillion cells. Lots and lots of cells. So you are basically a big lump of cells all working together. And you've got different cell types. You've got skin cells and muscle cells, nerve cells. Those are the ones we're going to look a lot more at. You've got, what else have we got? Fat cells, all those different types of cells. Alright, so every living thing is made up out of these things called cells. And really a cell is the smallest thing that we really still consider living. If you go any smaller than a cell, basically you're looking at just chemistry, sort of chemical things. They're not really living anymore. Okay, let's carry on. So cell structure. Cells of different organisms have very different cell structures. And in particular we're going to look at plants and animal cells. So here we've got some different cell types. And you can see they're different shapes. And different colors and different sizes. So depending on different living things, they've got different types of cells. But even inside you've got different types of cells, and they can be quite different. But the basic two types, or they've all got things in common. We've got plant cells, have all got these basic features. And we're also going to look at animal cells. So you don't need to know all the features in my little picture here. For you guys, all you need to know, guys, plants have a rigid cell wall, so a cell wall around the outside, which helps support the cell. So the outermost layer is the cell wall. Some plant cells also have chloroplasts, which are these green little sacs. And those are things that they need for photosynthesis. So all plants are green because, at least their leaves tend to be green, because they've got these chloroplasts in their leaf cells. And these chloroplasts absorb the sunlight and help a plant carry out photosynthesis. That's where they convert the sun's energy into chemical energy using carbon dioxide and water to basically grow. So using the sunlight energy to grow. An animal cell is a little bit different. They don't have plant cell walls. So animals don't have a cell wall, and so they don't have a rigid structure. They're a lot more soft and squishy, and so we have other ways of making our bodies stronger. We have bones that we develop inside our bodies, and the outer layer, skin, is kind of a tough layer of dead cells. They've already died, that form our outer layer of skin. But the cells themselves don't quite have that tough layer around the outside. They don't have chloroplasts. You don't see green kind of people walking around. We don't have chloroplasts in our cells, and that's also why we need to eat food, because we can't get energy from sunlight. We can't make our own food. So these are the parts of an animal cell. We've got the cell membrane. Is just a layer around the outside, controls what goes in and out. Cytoplasm, the liquid inside. Mitochondria, I wouldn't worry too much about that. They're what helped us to break down the stuff in our food to get energy from it. And the nucleus has kind of got all our DNA as kind of the command center of the cell. So let's look at a few parts here. These are the ones basically you need to know. So all cells, or pretty much all cells, have a nucleus, a cell nucleus. And that's the control center. It contains all the cell's genetic code, its DNA. And every cell has an entire set of DNA for that organism. So in theory, I could take one cell from your body and out of all the information, all the DNA inside there, to make another copy of you, to make a clone. So every cell has an entire set of that genetic information, the stuff that makes you who you are, and that acts as the control center. It helps to determine what actually happens in the cell. Alright, so cell functions. All cells have a specific job. So you can see here, these blue ones I think are skin cells from the inside of a cheek. Here we've got some cells basically in I think a hair follicle. So you've got the hair growing here, they make the hair. Here we've got blood cells, a red blood cell here. Sorry, the picture's not in colour, so that's a red blood cell there. And these are actually white blood cells that help fight off infection. I believe these are white blood cells. So that we have different cells with different functions. What we're going to look at, focus on in this topic, is we're looking at sensitivity. So we're going to focus on the cells that enable us to interact and process information from our environment. So for sensitivity, the cells that are the most important are probably these ones. They're called neurons. So neurons, so guys, focusing on the cells of the body system responsible for sensitivity, these cells are called neurons. Sometimes they're called nerve cells. It's just a little bit more of a slang kind of term, so we'll often refer to them as neurons, but nerve cells is actually okay too. And the reason for that is a nerve is actually just a collection, a bundle of these neurons. Alright, so guys, you can check out this video on BrainPOP if you go to the health section on BrainPOP and you go to body systems, and then under cells you'll find a little BrainPOP video there too. Watch that, it's probably a little bit more fun than my video. If you need a login, just ask your teacher. If you're one of our students, they'll give you a username and login that you can use. Cool, alright, let's get on to the next one.